President Sisi reaffirms Egypt's support for Somalia's security, stability, and the Ethiopia-Somalia Agreement for Peace. Egypt condemns Israel's attacks on Gaza's healthcare, urging UN action and accountability. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli announces an MG car factory in Egypt, supporting automotive sector localization. You're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews, and let's move on to the latest developments. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi extends his warmest congratulations to Egyptians abroad on the occasion of the new Georgian year 2025. In a message shared on social media, President al-Sisi stated, "Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Egypt abroad, I am delighted to extend my heartfelt congratulations and best wishes for the new year 2025. I pray to God Almighty that it will be a year of peace, stability, and prosperity, fulfilling our hopes and aspirations for a brighter future. I wish you success and well-being, and for our beloved Egypt, continued development, progress, and prosperity." President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has affirmed Egypt's commitment to supporting Somalia in achieving security and stability, both through bilateral cooperation and its role in the African Union peacekeeping mission, which was undertaken at Somalia's request. In a phone call with French President Emmanuel Macron, President al-Sisi expressed Egypt's interest in the recent agreement between Ethiopia and Somalia, brokered by Turkey. He voiced hope that the accord would enhance security and stability in the Horn of Africa and align with the principles of international law. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has reviewed progress on the upcoming launch of the second version of Egypt's national artificial intelligence strategy, which aims to leverage AI technologies to address societal challenges across various sectors. During a meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Communications Amr Talat, President al-Sisi emphasized the need to expand and enhance communication services nationwide, ensuring high-quality access for citizens. He also called for measures to attract local and international investment in communications and information technology and urged intensified efforts to improve Egypt's global ranking in the telecommunications sector. Egypt has extended its heartfelt condolences to South Korea following the tragic Jeju air crash near Seoul, which claimed numerous lives and caused multiple injuries. In a statement, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry expressed solidarity with South Korea's government and people, offering sympathy to the victims' families and wishing a swift recovery for the injured. Egypt has strongly condemned Israel's systematic targeting of Gaza's healthcare infrastructure, including the recent evacuation of Kamal Adwan Hospital, the last major health facility in northern Gaza. In a statement issued by the Foreign Ministry, Egypt condemned this as a blatant act of aggression and a violation of international law and norms, accusing Israel of making northern Gaza uninhabitable to forcibly displace its residents. Egypt called for international accountability mechanisms and decisive UN action to halt these violations, emphasizing the urgent need to end the war, stop the brutal practices, and ensure unhindered humanitarian aid. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdel Ati received his Sudanese counterpart Ali Yusuf al-Sharif to discuss the ongoing armed conflict in Sudan as well as regional disputes. The talks focused on water security as Egypt and Sudan, both downstream countries of the Nile River, aim for a legally binding agreement on the operation of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Similarly, there was consensus on the need to preserve Somalia's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity in the face of foreign interference, as well as empowering Somalia to combat terrorism. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Ati has met with Ali al-Hassisi, chair of the Canadian House of Commons Foreign Affairs and International Development Committee, to discuss strengthening bilateral relations as well as regional and international issues of mutual interest. Abdel Ati emphasized the importance of boosting economic cooperation, trade and investment, and proposed a new round of political consultations in April 2025. He highlighted Egypt's political and economic reforms, including the National Human Rights Strategy, as well as the recent visa waiver for Canadian citizens to promote tourism and trade. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Ati has affirmed Egypt's support for the Anna Lindh Foundation's efforts to foster intercultural dialogue as a bridge for cultural and civilizational exchange across the Mediterranean. He highlighted the foundation's role in promoting tolerance, coexistence, and modernization in the region. During a phone call with the foundation's head, Princess Reem Ali, Abdel Ati expressed his appreciation for Alexandria's selection as the Southern Mediterranean capital of culture and dialogue for 2025, noting its significance as the location of the foundation's headquarters. Egypt's Al-Azhar has strongly condemned the international silence over Israel's actions in Gaza, particularly the recent attack on Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza. In a statement, Al-Azhar denounced Israel's targeting of the hospital, which resulted in the deaths of dozens of innocent people. The statement also condemned the detention and humiliation of doctors and paramedics who were forced to strip and were reportedly abducted to unknown locations. Egypt's ambassador to Mozambique, Mohamed Fargal, has met with Mozambique's Interior Minister, Pascal Ronda, in Maputo. Mozambique's Interior Minister praised the historic ties between the two countries, rooted in their shared anti-colonial struggles, and expressed gratitude for Egypt's support, particularly in police training and capacity-building programs. He also voiced hope for expanded cooperation in the future. Ambassador Mohamed Fargal reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations, emphasizing ongoing training programs and proposed collaborations in counter-terrorism and prison security. He underscored Egypt's solidarity with Mozambique and its readiness to support African partners. The Arab Parliament has condemned the destruction of Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza by the Israeli occupation forces, as well as the forced evacuation of its patients and staff. In a statement, the Arab Parliament labeled this act as a clear violation of international humanitarian law. It called on the international community and the UN Security Council to take immediate action to end these crimes, establish a ceasefire in Gaza, and hold those responsible for war crimes against the Palestinian people accountable. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has confirmed that the establishment of the MG car factory in Egypt reflects the Egyptian government's policies in recent years to support the automotive sector. These initiatives align with the national strategy to localize car manufacturing. The Prime Minister oversaw the signing of an exclusive technical licensing agreement between Al Mansour Automotive Group and the Chinese company SAIC Motor to manufacture MG cars in Egypt. Additionally, a land allocation agreement was signed between the Ministry of Transport and Al Mansour Automotive Group for the construction of a new factory in the New October Industrial Zone with an investment of $135 million. Egypt's Minister of Environment, Yasmin Fouad, has chaired a meeting of the Executive Office of the National Council for Climate Change to review the outcomes of Egypt's first biennial transparency report. The report, developed by the Ministry of Environment in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme, highlights Egypt's commitment under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Minister Fouad emphasized the report's importance at both the national and international levels. Egypt's Minister of Agriculture and Land Reclamation, Ala Farouk, has announced plans to cultivate 3.1 million fadans of wheat this season, aiming for a productivity increase of up to 25 ardab per acre. Farouk added that the government aims to boost productivity to 28 ardab per acre in the coming years, with a plan in place to exceed 9.5 million tons during the current agricultural season. Minister of Health Khalid Abdel Ghaffar has held a meeting to discuss urgent solutions for increasing the number of trained healthcare professionals with a focus on family medicine and primary care at health centers nationwide. Collaboration with Egyptian universities was emphasized to align family medicine training with pediatrics and obstetrics, particularly in rural areas. The ministry announced plans to establish new training centers, expand diploma programs, and offer incentives for family doctors. Discussions also focused on retraining general practitioners to specialize in family medicine as part of efforts to strengthen the healthcare system. Egypt's Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation, Hani Swilam, has received an update on the new Dairut barrages project from engineer Ihab El-Gohari, head of the major dams and barrages sector. The report confirmed that 60% of the project has been completed. The ministry emphasized that the initiative is a critical component of its efforts to modernize, rehabilitate, and maintain Egypt's irrigation infrastructure. Once completed, the project will enhance irrigation for 1.6 million acres across 5 upper Egyptian governorates. These are Asyut, Minya, Beni Suef, Fayoum, and Giza. The draw for the 2024-2025 Egypt Cup round of 32 has been announced, with title holders Pyramids FC set to face Mansoura. Zamalek will await the winner for Baladiyat Al Mahalla versus Abu Ir Semaid. Egyptian League champions Al Ahli were excluded from this edition as a penalty for withdrawing last season. Pyramids FC won their first ever Egypt Cup on August 31st, defeating ZFC 1-0 in the final. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we have been covering. President Sisi reaffirms Egypt's support for Somalia's security, stability, and the Ethiopia-Somalia Agreement for Peace. Egypt condemns Israel's attacks on Gaza's health care, urging UN action and accountability. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli announces an MG car factory in Egypt supporting automotive sector localization. And that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. I'm Hala Al-Hamalawi. Thank you very much for watching.